If you click this short video, it is because you want to know the 8 sacrifices you need to make to completely change your life. So, pay attention, because I'm about to show you how you can turn your financial struggles into financial freedom. And this doesn't require no hard work, but if you make at least 3 of these sacrifices today, you will notice small changes in your life within 5 months guaranteed. Maybe you will get a higher paying job. Maybe you will quit your job and start a new business, or maybe you will start to have the lucky money syndrome, where money just seems to flow to you easily. So, I recommend you to watch this video more than once to have attract these things in your life. But first, you have to know the 8 sacrifices you need to make to completely change your life. And even if you make 3 of these sacrifices, you will still see changes in your life. Now, if you watch this video to the end, it simply means that good fortune will come your way, because you will have a better understanding of the 8 sacrifices you need to make to completely change your life. And if you are new here, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. Number 1, family. Even though this is the last thing people want to hear that they have to sacrifice. But many wealthy people avoid starting a family in their early days of success. This is the level where you might be making minimum wage, or it is hard for you to survive from the amount of money you are making. One of the biggest traps a person can ever make is to start having kids in their 20s. The reason for that is that your time, attention, and resources will have to focus on that kid. When this happens, your child may become a liability in your life. Now imagine, if you never had a kid in this stage, you will be better off putting your time, attention, and resources into other things that can help you improve your income. Most wealthy individuals only decide to have kids when they have accumulated success. Even your own relatives you won't have time for when you are just starting out. Number 2, friends. Have you ever realized that wealthy people have little to no friends? The reason behind this is because there is not enough time to hang out with friends if you are really serious about getting rich. But there is a catch to this. If you noticed most wealthy people, you will see that they only have friends who they can learn from, and people who pushes them to go further in life. Not the friends who call you up to talk about everyday topics and news. Not the friends who call you up to go to a party and drink and get drunk, but people who actually can help you to improve your income. If you really want to get rich, cutting down on these types of people is a must, and people who aren't actively helping you to get ahead in life. It is better to have a few friends with great quality than a lot of friends that might hold you back from becoming rich. Number 3, ego. Your ego in itself produces very little value to people around you and your environment. The definition of ego is an inflated feeling of pride and superiority to others. These are people that think that they are so important they cannot be treated anyway. Everyone has an ego, but it is always the ones with a massive ego that ends up failing in life. When someone has a massive ego, it is hard for other people to relate to them. And even though people like these may feel as if people respect them, the opposite is true. People actually hate these kinds of individuals and might try to sabotage them as revenge instead of helping them. A person with a massive ego may be prone to less opportunity in life, because getting rich will always require the effort of other people, whether they are working for you or they are your customers. 3 common traits people with massive ego tend to have are criticizing others, complaining a lot, and condemn. Which in the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, one of the first laws, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. If you really want to get rich, you have to sacrifice your ego, be humble, and don't be afraid to accept humility, because that is how you can learn how to grow. Because a person with a massive ego has a high sense of importance. They feel as if they can never make mistakes, which makes it hard for them to learn from their mistakes. If you research most wealthy individuals, you will realize how much they value making mistakes, because that is how they learn. Your ego will also make you feel envious when you see other people's success, because that means they may be perceived as more superior in your mind. And instead of learning from them and become inspired by them, you may try to befriend them just to sabotage them, or try to ruin what they have created just so your ego can make you feel good. But no matter how much you do that, you will always see people winning around you, and not everyone you can sabotage or ruin, giving you a lower self-esteem than usual. Number 4, happiness. Even though most people might say that money can't buy you happiness at the end, but if you want to get rich, you will have to sacrifice your happiness to a certain extent. No matter how much you might love what you do, nobody is happy working 8 to 10 hours a day every single day, because that will make your life unbalanced. So there needs to be a balance in the amount of happiness you need to sacrifice to become wealthy. But sacrificing your happiness from early will give you the advantage of enjoying it later in the future. If you are willing to work the extra hours now and focus on making money instead of doing things that will make you happy, in the end, you will have all in abundance. Imagine having the time to spend quality time with your child when the time is right, because you won't have to worry about money again. Or imagine waking up and doing whatever you want, traveling the world, and just living your best life to the fullest. Number 5, Job. If you notice most wealthy individuals, they have one thing in common: they don't have a job. But for most of these wealthy people, they were once like you. you, they have to get up every day and work for someone else to help pay their bills. This is the one sacrifice that can make you become rich. It's sacrificing your job. The reason why most millionaires don't have a job is that they don't want to spend most of their time working for money, but increasing their value and expanding what they have to offer to as many people as possible. Think of an employee who works at the supermarket. This employee only has much to offer to his boss, while the boss may have multiple chains of supermarket, expanding his value to more people. This in return will give him a higher net worth. Now, in order to sacrifice your job, you have to think of something valuable that you can offer to as many people in exchange for money. Every rich people offer value to thousands of people. If you have a job, you can only offer you value to your boss. Number 6, sexual adventures. If you want to be rich, if you want to be successful, you have to sacrifice your sexual desires. It is smart to think of this as a form of distraction. There is a popular saying that goes, "You will lose money chasing women, but you will never lose women chasing money." If you read about most millionaires' early stages of building wealth, you would realize that they didn't have much sexual experiences when they were younger. They didn't spend outlandishly to try to impress the opposite sex, but focus on themselves and their goals. In the end, it was women who were chasing these men and not them. 7 fears. This is something that is stopping most people from becoming rich. The most common fear is the fear of criticism. If you fear putting yourself out there, this is a sacrifice you need to make. The truth is, no matter what you do, some people will have something negative to say. If you fear being criticized, it may hinder you from taking risk or pursuing your goals because you worry too much about negative feedback. Because of this, you are more prone to avoid trying new things or putting yourself out there, which can stop you from both personal and professional growth. Number 8, instant gratification. Instant gratification comes from a person wanting immediate satisfaction or pleasure derived from fulfilling a desire or even indulge in a pleasurable activity. It is the tendency of seeking immediate rewards or pleasure without considering the long-term consequences. Most of us have this habit, but it is something you have to sacrifice if you want to become rich. If you read about almost every wealthy individual, you would notice one thing they have in common. They all were disciplined enough to focus on their goals for extended periods of time instead of giving into distractions. Instead of watching TV, playing video games, or partying, they were reading, researching, and finding new ways on how they can accomplish their dreams. Number 9, money. You might not want to hear this, but if you want to really become rich, you have to sacrifice a part of your income. This means that you should not spend all the money you make, or what's worse is spending more than you earn, especially if you are making minimum wage. You want to try your best and do some serious budgeting, making sure that you are cutting expenses and none of your money is being wasted. This way, you can then take that money to invest it or even start a side hustle. All wealthy individuals sacrifice their money. Some even start to emphasize that cash is trash. The reason for this is that they know that over time, money can lose value, and the only way to really make money is to sacrifice it. Rich people take money to invest it into something valuable only to make more money. This is the reality. If you see people flaunting their purchases without being where they want to be in life, they are just sabotaging themselves. Never spend money to impress people while you are poor. It is better to sacrifice the little money you have so that you can use it when you find an opportunity to make more money with the money you have made. If you have made it to the end of the video, it means that good fortune will follow you, and be sure to comment down below. What are some things you are willing to sacrifice to be rich this year? And don't forget to subscribe and leave a like.